abilities to help with police cases. So you answered his question. So that's without me having to ask it. So have you worked on any very high profile cases for the police? I mean, I know you can't say which cases, but have you worked on any high profile ones?
Yes.
Okay. Do you do remote readings or remote viewing? Like, say I'm doing an investigation somewhere. Okay. Because I know I've done that with some mediums. I didn't tell them where we were going, and I had a hell of a time getting them on the phone because we were remote. The mediums were fine. We were remote, and we couldn't hardly reach them on the phone. And it was an interesting experiment to see what they could get.
I do one of the things when I do that kind of work, I am it's what they call third party remote viewing. I'm not actually, I'm watching this from a third person perspective. I don't like some mediums I know, they feel, they're actually in the moment when, that kind of thing is when the crime is being perpetrated.
You're more like you're watching it on TV, right?
Yes, correct. Just to give you an idea, 2006, there was a case that I got called in on, and one of the things that was asked of me was, could I put myself into the place of the victim? I could not. I think that switched for me just for the fact of even when you're watching it third party, there's still that level of, trauma that you can experience. And so for me, I'm grateful for the fact that I do the third party remote viewing. Have I had I don't want to say good luck because that's not the term I want to use, but has the work that I've done helped the case? Yes. I actually got within, on one particular case where the victim was located, I found out later that I was within about 150 feet from where that person was found. So sometimes, as one of the things that I also do is I help with missing pets, believe it or not. And so, I can look at a map, and it's almost like what they call a heat map. You know what I mean? As far as I can kind of give you an idea, where people are located at. Luckily for me, I'm very, I've lived in Kansas City since '79, so I've lived here most of my life. I know this area like the back of my hand. And so that does help, if there's local things. But have I worked on some pretty high profile? Yes, I have. It doesn't get any easier. It does not get any easier. I actually had to take a break earlier this year I worked one case last year, and I was just not, at that point it was just, I had to walk away from it because it is very emotionally draining. And I have not worked any recently in the last couple of months, but it's either feast or famine in that arena.
Do cases call you? I mean, not people, the case itself call you, like a missing child. For some reason, you read about it or you hear about it, and all of a sudden you're going, I have got to help with this.
Many times it is more of I'm contacted directly. I rarely reach out to, if I see a particular, case, I need to help out. Because most of the time, I will tell you, law enforcement is very skeptical. You've got to have a proven track record in that arena. And for me, it is more of I'm more contacted than reaching out. I can tell you in 30 years, I've reached out one time. And the only reason that I did reach out was that I knew who was working the case. And so that was the reason that I did. But they actually joked when I reached out to them, they were like, well, actually, we were going to call you in. So I kind of had that psychic moment of, hey, I sense this, so I'm going to call you. But it's only happened once.
Is reading someone you know personal harder than reading someone you don't know?
Yes.
Is it because you know them too well that you think that you might be pulling out something that you already knew, and it's not, because that's how I feel about it anyway. That I just know too much about them.
Mine is more when I read for somebody I know, I have to, if, of course, clients become friends, but like, the joke was my mom used to joke that she was, my biggest pimp, as she liked to call it, being the crass person that she can be sometimes. But she would always get on me, well, why don't you read for me? And my answer to her was this, and for my closest friends will tell you, I can't be unbiased. Right. The agreement I have with the powers that be is what I call them, is I have to speak it exactly as I hear it, relay it exactly as I see it. And, and this is where the pastoral ministerial training comes into play. If I cannot be unbiased with you, then I'm too close to the situation. And I don't want my personal opinion coloring that interaction. So
I know that if I see something negative, I don't want to tell them if I know
exactly.
them.
Well, I don't get so much of, when am I going to die kind of thing, but
no, not that. I never get.
But sometimes if I see negative things, and they're close friends or whatever, I may say something if it's, if they really and they have to really, really push. But many people who know me and are, longtime friends with me will tell you that I will preface it with, I'm stepping out of, daughter, sister, friend mode with you, and I'm going to step into my high priestess, I'm stepping into Reverend Shea, and I'm probably going to kick you where it hurts. And it doesn't mean I don't love you. It doesn't mean I hate your guts, but you wanted my honest opinion. I'll pull no punches. And, both of my best friends, brilliant seers, both in their own rights, I'll get a phone call. Hey, I'm seeing this. What do you think? And I'll be like, dude, do you really want me to go there? And I'll give them what for. And many times they'll go, or, they'll ask me for advice. I'll be like, I don't think you should go down this road. And, somebody will always, the joke has always been, especially with my clients, of going, Shea was right. That's it's kind of a joke, but it's kind of not. So I get that quite a bit, but the fun piece around it is, as well, is many people ask me, can I see for myself? And the answer is no, in many aspects. Can I?
If it could change a lot of things, if you could.
Oh, yes. Yes. Do I get flashes and things like that? I do. And, one thing I always tell people is our gut instinct is our best conduit. It's our best instinct. Our bodies do not know how to lie. And I think if people learned how to gut check, we would solve so many, really learned how to gut check and listen to their bodies, they we would save so much hassle. I mean, I probably would be put out of business, to be real honest with you. But I always tell my client, if I never see you again or talk to you again, remember that your gut cannot lie. It is a reptilian response. You know, it's either a yes or a no. And, you know, that's the one thing for me that has gotten me into trouble, you know, over the years, sometimes making bad decisions, of when I did not listen to my gut. And, you know, that's the one thing I always tell people is you can go to all the, you know, there are people out there that reader hop. We all know that, you know, they shop around for psychics, and because they want someone that will tell them what they want to hear. And, you know, have I run into issues, and not even issues, but where have I gotten feedback of, well, you know, you didn't tell them what they wanted. Well, why did you come see me then? If you didn't, you know, you wanted what I saw, here's what I see. But I always tell people too, you know, that can be changed. Choices, you know, you can always choose again if you make a choice. But
yep. And you know what? We're losing track of all of our breaks because we have so much to talk about. But this is our last break. So everybody, we got 2 minutes. Go get your last cup of water, your last hot chocolate, your last martini, whatever it is, and come back. You're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. Come back and hear what Shea and I have to talk about next.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experience Radio. Broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Howdy ho, everyone. We're back. You're back with the Paranormal Pride and my guest, Shea Moyers. I hope everybody got their drink and that they're back. And if you have any questions, we're down to the last of them. So we're going to be shooting through them pretty quick. So I don't even remember where we were. See, again, everybody misses what we talk about on the breaks. Sometimes I think we should just leave the breaks up for them to hear, but then we'd have to figure that out later on. But so what are you working on as far as Phoenix Consulting and stuff goes for the future?
Well, you know, I actually ended up taking a hiatus from Phoenix. I was dealing with some health challenges earlier this year, and so we did ratchet it back quite a bit. I've got several local, you know, one of the things that I'm getting, you know, if you step away for a bit, people forget about you. So, you know, the thing I'm working on with Phoenix is really kind of regrounding our presence here in Kansas City and in the Midwest. I've got several, local shows that I'm going to be doing in Lawrence,